Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Knife Chats with Tobias. So what we have back here is the Rough Ryder RR2588. This is the latest offering in a large toothpick. This is the large red smooth bone toothpick, and it's a pretty darn good looking knife. And there's a few things about it that really intrigue me. First of all is that it is called a red smooth bone. Now, red smooth bone is all over the place. I'll tell you that right now. In many cases, red smooth bone is probably one of my least favorite handle materials to collect, because people call all sorts of things red smooth bone, including this knife handle here, which I don't know. I'm pretty hard to call that red. That, especially in person. I'm looking over the camera and I'm looking through the camera. It's a little redder in the camera, but I tell you what, in person, this is much closer to an orange smooth bone, which fortunately for me works even better. I like orange smooth bone over red smooth bone. Especially that tomatoey color of a red smooth bone, and this is darn near closer to that. Well, it's closer to orange than the tomato red. I'm not a big fan of tomato red. I'm going to show you a couple other reds. You know what? I think I will save that for another video. I am going to break out all the varieties of bone that is called red bone, and you'll see why. It's all over the place, and you never know what you're getting with red bone. And what's worse with red bone is it does have a tendency to fade. So this is about as red as this bone is ever going to be. The more it is under like UV light or under even natural sunlight, the more orange this is going to get, which is a plus for me, but for other people, if you're looking for a really good strong red bone, something that is, red, real red, this might not be what you're looking for. But if you're looking for something that's orange, man, you're going to really dig this knife. Okay, enough about the handle color. The other thing is the accent that we have here. These little spacers with the what looks like pearl and abalone. To me, that looks very much like genuine pearl and genuine abalone. However, look at the color in there and everything else. There is definitely some fire going on. But for some reason, it is listed as synthetic pearl and synthetic abalone. And I tell you what, if that is synthetic abalone and synthetic pearl, Rough Ryder has become a master at making fake pearl and fake abalone. I'm going to tell you that right now. That looks just gorgeous. Okay, let me take a minute to interrupt myself here. I actually checked with Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and this is indeed genuine pearl and genuine abalone. It was an error when it was posted as being synthetic pearl or synthetic abalone, and it has since been repeated at numerous locations, but it is indeed genuine pearl, genuine abalone. Got the nickel silver spacers on either side of that, so it's very much similar to the way they made the latest iterations of the Stonework series with the nickel silver spacers between the stones and everything. And I do like it. I like the little accent there. You also got nickel silver pins holding in the bone, and you also have the latest type of bolster that they have been putting on the large toothpicks, which is the single thread on the top with the pinch. And they've done that with the is that one done? Nope. They've only done that with the Stonework series as well. Notice they have the pinch there. So that is something new. This is something that they used to do quite frequently with the Colt lineup, the pinched bolster with the single line there. And we do have the R's on there before. The R is gone, so that's the good thing. Backside, you still have the triple ring bolster, which I really like with the the powder horns on the Rough Ryder large toothpicks, and they've done that with the majority of them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th one with the triple ring on the bolster. The ones that don't have it are the saw cut bone, which has what I usually refer to as a shell bolster, or the sunburst bolster, and obviously the stroke of luck, which has the clover leaf that has or the shamrock, and you got 3 shamrocks instead of the triple ring going on. But otherwise, the rest of them have the triple ring bolster on the back there, or powder horn. You do have the swedge. That is common with all of the, well, 4 out of 5 of the Rough Ryder with a Y have that. The Glow series does not have the swedge. 4 out of 5 of the large toothpicks now have the half stop as well. So you have a half stop on this blade. You see that? You have the new Rough Ryder, stamped with the lines going around that, or the box Ryder going in there. Notice how you got a box around Rough Ryder, or around Ryder. And then you have the China RR2588 there, and this is using the typical 440A stainless steel. So it still has the 440 razor sharp stamp there. Is that what it is? Yeah, it's 440 razor sharp. And the nice swedge going on. Not crazy about the swedge, but that's what they've been doing. It does seem to interfere a little bit with the match strike pull. It does have a match strike pull underneath the swedge. I wish they would move the swedge back here if they were going to have the match strike pull there. If they're going to have a swedge, I wish they'd just put the match strike pull back here and just make it a long, straight pull. I think that would look a lot nicer than the swedge that is up here, just a long, straight pull. You do not need a swedge to open these. Pull on this, I'm giving it about 5 or 6. It's not a very strong pull. About the same that I have with almost every other Rough Ryder toothpick. They usually do not have a strong pull. If we're looking at the back spring here, you do see a little bit of a gappage here. You can see it, but it is consistent. It runs the whole length of the knife there. We're talking about a knife that costs 15 bucks. The gap there is very acceptable. The blade favors the backside ever so slightly. You do have a little bit of a wobble on the blade there when it's closed. If we open it all the way up, it got good tension going on there. Yes, you can push on it, but it takes a little effort. Got a nice lock up there. No extra gapping once the blade is open or anything like that. And if you notice here, the stones line up pretty well there at the back from side to side. Might be a little bit off, but we're talking about like 1/4 of a millimeter or 1/8 of a millimeter, something like that. It is very close to same on both sides, and the same thing on this side. So the stones line up very well on both sides of the knife. Really looks good. No shield on the knife, which is also a plus, but then you do have the accents here. So the accents are basically acting as a shield, but it is on both sides. Blade came very sharp. What is that? Oh yeah, well, I did cut some tape with it, so got a little staining on the blade I gotta wipe off. Yep. So that was from me using the knife. So did come clean. Tip, pretty good. Very thin at the very edge because of the swedge, but I do not feel that it is warped or twisted or bent, so that's good too. Does go to the half stop pretty well. Got a nice clip when it's closing. Definitely got a nice kick on the knife. You see you got plenty of room on that blade, but the blade is also recessed enough so that once you sharpen it a few times, it's not going to be riding proud or anything like that. So no proud blade going on in there. Really a well-made knife, especially at the $15 mark. and it looks really good. But like I said, red, I think it's kind of a stretch to call this red. This is their other red smooth bone knife. This was a very old one. It has faded a little bit over time, but this was their 4 1/8 inch toothpick, or their medium toothpick in red, and you can see this looks definitely more red, a little more of a tomato red. But when you see that, you see that it is going more and more orange. If we're looking at the fish knife, got a little more red going on, except around the edges there. I think this is a strawberry bone. You can see the little bit of a difference there. This is, here's their red Knittler. You can see now, look at that. All right, you saw that red compared to this red. You can definitely see more orange now, and this even has a little bit of an orange tinge to it, but that is definitely more orange. And then when we throw an orange knife next to it, what do you say? Is that more orange? That toothpick, is it more orange? Or is it more red? Can I hold them all? I think you can see what I'm talking about. It definitely looks orange. So if you're into orange smooth bone, this knife would probably work in your collection a whole lot better than if you really need that vivid red that you're looking for. If you're looking for a bright red, a really strong red, this knife is probably going to disappoint you. If you're kind of pleasantly surprised to find out that it is an orange knife, you might really be happy with it. And this is not the first one either. I've seen the one that was on Williams Knife Life, and his was definitely more orangey to me than red. Might be wrong, but to me this is definitely an orange smooth bone, and I think that's what they should be calling it, orange bone, not red bone. But in any case, that's where I'm at with it. I really like the knife. I'm glad I got it. I'm probably going to pick up another one, and I'm hoping that when I pick up the other one, that it also is pleasantly more orange than red. But if it is really red, then that might be the one I end up using, because I like this orange. I like the orange smooth bone versus a red smooth bone, and this is definitely orange to me. If the other thing is now I'm going off on a limb though. I know there's a lot of people who are thinking, well, I'm just going to take some red dye and make this thing even more red. I don't know how these stones are going to react to throwing it into boiling red dye. So be prepared for that, and be prepared for the fact that you may have to reattach the stones if you decide to boil this knife in red dye. Just something to think about. Beyond that, I'm happy to get it. It's toothpick number 10 from Rough Ryder, and I can only hope that they come out with a toothpick number 11 that is a white smooth bone. And I would love to get a large toothpick in the Outdoorsman series. I would love to get a large toothpick from Rough Ryder in the Brown Stagbone series. Of course, I've already got that from Marbles, and I would also love to see one in actual red jig bone. Of course, I've already got that from Marbles as well. Should have shown that. Red or orange? What do you think? Anyway, I'll let you go. Talk to you again soon. take just a second to thank you once again for dropping by and spending a few minutes here at Knife Chats with Tobias. I really do appreciate it, and I do appreciate any comments that you leave. So please remember to give me that thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you'll know when the next episode is up and running. Thanks again for dropping by. Really do appreciate your time here.